This is Ignite Success with First Coast Women. I'm your host, Snowden McFall, professional speaker, author, and coach. Here we focus on incredible women who kindle new ideas, spark change, and fire up our community. In this show, you're going to learn all about community trusteeship and how leaders can be even more effective. You're going to learn about our environment and how you can make a difference yourself, and how there's a great national women's organization having their convention here in Jacksonville this fall. You'll also have the opportunity to learn how you can be more productive and effective and make the most out of every meeting. And you'll learn about how to be even more fierce as a woman business owner or a woman in business. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Ignite Success. In today's Fuel Your Fire segment, we're going to talk about leadership, and we have the perfect person to do that. Jill Dame, who is Executive Director of Leadership Jacksonville, has an extensive background in leadership. Welcome, Jill.
Thanks so much for having me, Snowden.
So tell us about all the various different organizations you've been involved in, because I know there are many that you have served in this city.
Well, I have been blessed to work with some great groups. Pace Center for Girls was one of the first groups I got real engaged with. Of course, Leadership Jacksonville, Girl Scouts, the Cathedral Foundation dealing with the elderly, Girls on the Run, Episcopal School of Jacksonville, more dealing with children than any other group.
How wonderful. And so now, Leadership Jacksonville, you've been there 2 years now?
Oh, 6.
6? Is it really 6?
Time
Wow,
flies.
it does. It does. Well, Leadership Jacksonville is a fabulous organization. I myself went through the class of 2010, and I love the organization, but I'm not sure that our viewers know all the different programs that Leadership Jacksonville offers.
Well, good. Thanks for asking. I'll happily tell them. We have 4 core programs. Our traditional, longest running, over 44 years, is the program you did, which is, we refer to it as the Adult Leadership Jacksonville program. We take about 55 people and put them through a year-long community leadership, building a network of friends and folks that are all inspired to do more. Then we have a similar program for high school youth, Youth Leadership Jacksonville. We take high school sophomores and put them through during a school year, 1 day a month of learning about our community and how they need to come back to Jacksonville and also make a difference. We have a third program that is targeted for college age through about age 30. Folks that are either still in college or within 2 years of graduation with an undergraduate or graduate degree. It's summertime so that we can get students that are off. And again, trying to interest them in Jacksonville's issues, tell them about our assets, and make them want to stay in Jacksonville. And finally, our newest program, and it's a very short program, is a 2-day New Leadership Summit, where we take executives who are new to Jacksonville, and for 2 days they're together on a speed course learning about our history and our assets, and also meeting other new CEOs, new executives to the area.
And I know that's one of the greatest gifts of Leadership Jacksonville is the networking that happens, the connections and the people that you meet.
Absolutely. Our mission statement is that we want to educate, connect, and inspire diverse leaders to build and strengthen our community. That middle, the connect, is huge. Those connections that people make, they use throughout all their work, business, nonprofit work, volunteer work. They build a strong network within each class.
So what is the concept of community trustee?
What we say is there are a lot of leaders out there. There are leaders in every walk of life. We're trying to build community trustees or community leaders who are ethical, who are taking action for the common good. We want people that aren't doing what they do just for themselves or their business or their family, but are looking at the entire community. What is best for all of us? And certainly keeping in mind our family and our business, but we really want ethical, strong leaders who are looking out for the future and for our children's future so that they're doing the best, the common good.
And, what would you say to a leader who says, well, I've lived in this city for 15 years. Why do I need LJ?
Oh, and we have a lot that say that sort of thing too. They all come away going, wow, I didn't know. There are areas, if they're solidly in the business community, many of them don't know some of the issues related to poverty. If they're solidly in the arts community, they may not understand the impact of the business community. So there's something for everyone, and what they bring, if they really know an awful lot, is they're helping educate the others in their class. So we hope that they do share what they already know as they come in, but they will find there are things they didn't know.
I'll tell you, one of the most powerful things that happened in my class is after Poverty Day, I was walking to the parking lot, and one of my classmates said, I've been a conservative Republican all my life, and I've always thought people on welfare don't try. He said, this day changed my entire perception.
Yes, we hear that a lot.
Yeah, which is wonderful. Yeah, so you've got a couple of big events coming up. I know Celebration is coming up, right?
Right. Celebration on April 16th is our one fundraiser for the youth program. We keep tuition for that youth program very low so that all students, families can afford to participate. And even then, we give them scholarships. But they all get a scholarship because we fundraise to make it happen. And this year, we're honoring Alberta Hips, former city councilwoman.
She's great.
Yeah, she's wonderful. David Miller, founder of Brightway Insurance.
Great.
And Darnell Smith, who Florida Blue, but also community man at large. He's done so much in our community. The three of them will be honored as we try to raise monies for the youth program.
That's wonderful. So where can people find out more about how to sign up for Celebration?
On our website, which is www.leadershipjax.org. And it has all the details, ticket prices, sponsorship opportunities, as well as just information about the honorees and the event itself.
Well, thanks so much for being with us, Jill, and thanks for all you do.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And coming up next, you're going to learn all about how our environment is so important to preserve. In today's Success Sparks, we have Janet Herrik, who is CEO and President of Onsite Environmental. And she's going to tell us all about how you can take care of the environment and also how you can be a more effective businesswoman. Welcome, Janet.
Good morning, Snowden.
So tell us about Onsite Environmental.
Oh, certainly. Onsite Environmental Consulting is a company that provides environmental due diligence for anyone who wants to buy or build on land. So in Florida, some of the environmental concerns would be wetlands or protected species like gopher tortoises. We also do coastal resiliency and dune restoration as well.
And I know your business has grown and thrived quite a bit over the last decade.
It has indeed. It has indeed. It's been a good journey for us.
And so what are some of the most exciting projects that you've worked on?
I would say right now my most exciting project that I'm working on is the Living Shoreline Demonstration Site located at the Jacksonville Zoo. It'll provide the zoo visitors to go down to the Trout River and see an alternative to vertical bulkheading. Wave energy that comes up to the shoreline will be absorbed rather than refracted. And by creating a living shoreline, we'll be able to create essential habitat for all the critters that make the water quality improve.
Which is wonderful. So that improves the environment. It's restorative. And is this meant to also educate people about perhaps applying that themselves?
Indeed. It's really, living shorelines are something that you can see on a massive scale in state parks or in coastal areas, but we're trying to create something that will be a consumer product that a homeowner can choose to have for their property instead of a vertical bulkhead or a hybrid where they use it in conjunction with their bulkhead.
So is that something that you'll be administering too? I mean, if a homeowner saw the project, could they call you and have you help them create a living coastline?
They can. It's one of the newest product lines that we're offering.
Oh, how exciting. That's wonderful on top of everything else. We often will see Janet and her crew digging out gopher tortoises and relocating them to other places. So I know you spend a lot of time in hip boots and mud.
Absolutely. Getting paid to be in the woods is living the dream for me. So it's something that I do enjoy, and balancing growth with conservation is always a win-win for everyone.
It is, and it's such an important thing right now.
Indeed, especially for Florida.
It is. So one of the aspects that you and I share is a great love for women's organizations in the area and resources for women. So what would you say are the best resources for a female entrepreneur in the city?
One of the best things about being an entrepreneur in Jacksonville is that there are agencies that work cooperatively together. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center that works cooperatively with our Jax Chamber is a fabulous resource. They have mentoring programs, training programs, and resources for growing your business. They work in concert with the Small Business Development Center at UNF, who works in concert with the SBA, who works in concert with the private organizations like Women Business Owners of North Florida or the Jacksonville Women's Network. It's one of the most wonderful areas to be an entrepreneur because people are working cooperatively rather than working competitively.
That's great. And you and I have both been involved with all those organizations.
Indeed.
And one of them that is an exciting one is the Athena PowerLink program.
Yes.
So I'm on the governing board of the Athena PowerLink for Jacksonville. And what's your experience with that?
I am currently a mentee.
Wonderful.
It is the premium signature training program that the Jacksonville Women's Business Center offers. Highly competitive to get into it. And once I was awarded this, I was then paired with a panel of 9 board of directors for a year who were helping me to grow my business. And it's like taking a little MBA, but every part of it is exciting. I am on fire for it.
Oh, that's wonderful. What have some of your ahas been so far?
Understanding cash flow, really revisiting myself as a consumer and revisiting what my brand represents, how to message that differently in today's digital market. And I'm working also to move into the government sector for the services that we provide.
Oh, that would be a fabulous one.
It's walking uphill. I'm not going to lie, but it is very exciting because it will help diversify my portfolio of income from not just the private sector, but for the government sector as well.
And there is a push now to obviously have more and more women-owned businesses serve the government. And so, and does that require WeBank certification and all that too?
WeBank is a good partner for that. Actually, WeBank helps certify for the private sector. It's helpful for the government sector, but WeBank will help a woman business owner move into, say, like UPS or FedEx or Xerox or these larger companies that have set-asides for minority businesses, and they are a third-party certifier and very, very helpful for that as well. Overall, I would say STEM science, the sciences field, is very positive for women right now. I would encourage any young girl or older woman, even if it's not her first priority craft, to come and be a part of an organization that is STEM focused. Lots of exciting things going on.
And I know you're also associated with NAWBO, National Association of Women Business Owners, and there's something exciting happening.
There is, and the second week of October, the national conference, which is held in a different American city every year, is coming to Jacksonville.
Which is amazing.
So exciting.
Yes.
It's been, this will be my 8th year.
Wow.
And it's been in Columbus, San Antonio, Miami, Indianapolis, Spokane, just amazing American cities, and now Jacksonville gets to host it. Almost 800 women from around the United States and internationally will be attending.
And I know you presented at that last year.
I did. I presented in Spokane on the nature of leadership, talked about the neuroscience of leadership, but how nature could be a partner for that.
Wonderful. So how can people get in touch with you, Janet?
Oh, indeed. Our website is www.onsiteec.com, or give us a call at the office, 904-384-7020. We're right in Riverside, so if you want to come by and visit, we'll do lunch.
Okay, thank you so much, Janet, for being with us.
My pleasure.
And coming up next, you're going to hear more about how to be fierce as a woman in business. In our Blazing Trails segment today, you're going to learn all about how you can be more fierce. With me today is the founder of She Is Fierce, a wonderful women's organization, Kelly Youngs. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
So how did She Is Fierce get started?
She Is Fierce really started as an idea that I had many moons ago and pitched at tons of different local TV stations, big international networks, and never was able to kind of find somebody to sponsor that idea. And when I moved back to North Florida, I thought, this is my chance with 2 small children to create something of my own. And really started as a website, just putting some positive content out there. Then we created some events, and it has grown into a movement since then.
And why is it important for women to share their fierce stories?
Yeah, you just said it. So for me, it's really about sharing the truth behind your story.
Right.
So at our events, we ask women to get on stage. We don't tell them you have to inspire. We don't tell them you have to teach something. We really ask them to tell the truth behind how they got to where they are. Usually they're phenomenally successful. You've been one of our speakers. They're people that you look at and think they've got everything together and it all came easily. And that's never the case, right?
No,
we know that's
not.
not true.
It's not, right?
Yeah, so we really ask them just to tell the truth, because I think there's so much more inspiration in knowing that we're all in this together than there is in asking somebody to tell us how we should change ourselves.
Right, and Brene Brown has demonstrated vulnerability and authenticity.
She's my idol.
Oh, she's terrific. Well, it's interesting. I was at a National Speakers Association event a couple weeks ago, and they had the $1 Million Speakers panel. And I asked a question, what mistakes have they made and what have you learned from it? And we had this incredible vulnerability and authenticity show up that really moved everyone in the room.
Yeah.
And I think it brings people so much more together and connected.
I love that. And you couldn't be more on point for me for what She Is Fierce is about, because we do a ton of stuff. We have a membership. We do coaching. We have all kinds of amazing women like you who provide resources and training within our membership for women all over the world. But what it all comes down to for me, and the core of what we do, is ask women to share their stories and give them the tools that they need if you're kind of in that beginning of your journey or in the middle of the journey, when we all are just looking for somebody to reach out and help us, that we're trying to provide that space for them.
And I know you have over 150,000 followers, is that right?
We do, yeah. We have women who are members, who are actually members all over the world. So we have members in 8 countries, and we have followers really, truly all over the world. And we're, this year for me is a really exciting year because it's an opportunity for us to take all of that, incredible network and bring those women together to highlight the incredible success stories. I was just talking about this yesterday. We have so many women that we need to be putting on this platform who are already a part of our network and helping to elevate their stories, because each and every one of them are out there just making phenomenal things happen. And I think that so many of us are working hard, and nobody says, hey, well done.
Right.
So we're really, this year trying to focus on that and trying to bring some recognition to the real women in the world who are making things happen.
And you have a number of exciting events coming up. Can you tell us about those?
Yes, we have an exciting year planned. So, we just love events that bring women together, that bring a speaker or a panel on stage of women that share that truth that I talked about. And we love an audience of people that are just having fun.
Right.
So for us, it is about coming together. It's all those things, networking and all of those things, but it's really about just enjoying yourself. We want people to come to our events and think, oh, I can't wait for the next one.
Right.
I got to make a new friend. I got to enjoy a fun night out and do something a little bit different. And so this year we have 3 big events planned in North Florida.
Okay.
We have our big summit in September, which we haven't announced all the details, but it's going to be amazing.
What are the dates on that?
It's September 19th.
Okay.
We have an awesome Women's Wednesday event, which I'm not going to release the details.
Okay.
But I'll share them with your audience when we have them, because I have some exciting things to share for that. But we're holding back right now.
Oh, and when is that?
That is going to be in June in St. Augustine, Florida. We have an incredible event planned in July in Jacksonville, and another one in November. And we're also doing a big event in London and possibly in some other places this year.
Oh, that's fun. So, because I know you have a big group in London as well.
We do, yeah, and a ton of amazing women who are part of our community who are building their own big things in that region. And so we're going to partner with some of them to bring everybody together in one space.
Oh, that's wonderful. So what would you suggest in terms of if a woman's trying to figure out how to get connected to you and what to do, and what would you recommend to them? What's the advice you have for women today?
To get connected to me personally, or just get connected to a greater network?
Both.
Well, to get connected to me, reach out to me, become a member, come to our events, send us a message. We have a phenomenal team of women that genuinely want to support the women in our community, and who sometimes I say we're doing too much behind the scenes and we actually need to tell people all the things that we're doing with our members. So definitely just reach out to me. And then for creating a broader network, for me, the biggest focus and the thing that I try to tell people in our community is not looking for the person with the greatest job title, the person who sounds the most impressive, because as much as that person might be amazing, it's really about connecting with people who actually have your back, that want to sponsor you, whether they are a level below you or 5 levels above you professionally. It's about getting connected with people who want to see you succeed, will help you along that journey. And I think as much as you can go to 1,000 different networking events and meet 1 million people, you want to really get connected to women and men who want to see you succeed.
And it's sheisfiercehq.com, is that right?
Sheisfiercehq.com, that's it.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for being with us so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And coming up next, you're going to learn all about how to handle email overload and increase your productivity. Today's Keep Your Fire Burning segment is all about your productivity. I hear from so many women across the country that they get overwhelmed with how much they have to do and how to manage their time, and they're beset with emails and meetings and just way too much to do. So I'm going to give you some tools today. Let's talk first of all about why this problem exists. From the beginning of time until 2003, 5 exabytes, yes, that's right, exabytes of data were created. Now we have that much data every 2 days, according to the former CEO of Google. Every 2 days. So no wonder we're overwhelmed. So how do you handle that? Well, let's start with email. Most CEOs get 300 emails a day, and there's no way you could process those effectively. What you don't want to do is look at your email first thing in the morning. That is a sure way to stress yourself out. And let's face it, when we first wake up, we're not at our best. We're not prepared mentally, emotionally, physically to deal with it. You want to have a good, strong morning routine that nurtures you. Take a few minutes for yourself, maybe 10, 15 minutes to meditate or pray, to read something inspirational, to do some exercise, to get some good nutrition in you. Before you tackle taking on your kids and your husband, you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Have your first email be a praise or a thank you email. It sets the positive tone for the day. It's a great way to start meetings too, to have the first thing that's said be praise or a thank you to someone. And then you want to teach people how you will respond to email. Believe it or not, the average employee checks their email 37 times an hour. I don't know how they get anything done. And it takes between 20 and 27 minutes to get back to work after you've been interrupted. So how is anybody accomplishing anything? Well, the truth is you can't when you're constantly checking email. You train people what to expect. I recommend you train people that maybe you'll answer your email 5 to 6 times a day. So first thing when you get into work, mid-morning, lunch, after lunch, mid-afternoon, and after work. Try not to do email at night, and certainly not before you go to bed, because it's a great way to stress yourself out. It will not help you at all. And that way you won't get sidetracked on your projects. One of the biggest things that happens is interruptions, and it takes 20 minutes to focus, 20 to 27 minutes to focus again after you've been interrupted. So how do you stop interruptions? If you are fortunate enough to have your own office, the first thing you want to do is close your door. And I always recommend to my coaching clients to do time blocking. Block out times when you are at your peak to get your highest leverage activities done. The most important things that you need to get done, the top 6. There's a great story about the top 6 items that need to get done and how that made such a difference at Charles Schwab. Focus on the highest leverage, greatest return on investment activities and block out your time. And you want to block out your time in 55-minute increments. Get up after 55 minutes, stretch, look outside because likely you've been on your computer and you need your eyes to refocus on nature. Take a whole glass of water, 8 ounces of fresh water, perhaps stretch and breathe. Breathe deeply 10 times. And then set your intention for what you want your next hour of work to be. Put a sign on your door that says, do not disturb until, and then you give them the time that you'll be available, unless there's a fire. And then there's another strategy which says you could put books and magazines in all the available chairs in your office so that no one is tempted to come in and sit down in your office. You want to make sure that you have strong, uninterrupted time to make yourself be as effective as possible. And you want to give yourself credit for what you've done. I think you'll find when you have 3 blocks of at least 55 minutes of uninterrupted time a day, you can make enormous progress on the projects that are important to you. You can really make big headway, and you can feel the sense of accomplishment at having completed those. You train people also in meetings. Meetings are another big time waster. We have way too many of them, and it's one of the things employees complain about the most. It is recommended that you consider doing standing or walking meetings. This has been Ignite Success, and we've had a great show today. You've had the opportunity to learn from Jill Dame, Executive Director of Leadership Jacksonville, all about community trusteeship and how you can become a better leader through ongoing education. Janet Herrik of Onsite Environmental has talked to us about living coastlines and the impact that her company is making, and also about NAWBO, the National Association of Women Business Owners, and how they will have their annual convention here this fall. And then Kelly Young shared with you about how to be fierce and the importance of vulnerability and authenticity in telling your real story. And I've shared with you some tips and tools on how to be more productive, how to handle your emails, how to have good meetings, and make the most of your time. This show is for women and about women, and we appreciate you and we want to hear from you. So I hope you'll use the tips and tools and the people that we've heard from today and use it to ignite your success.